Hello everybody, this is the Love Yourself Guru and welcome to the Love Yourself TV. Today we're going to be doing a video on 3 kinds of thoughts that aren't serving you. And so let's do a recap on the importance of being aware of your thoughts. Your thoughts create your emotions create your behavior. Your predominant behavior creates your reality. So when I first began to love myself and actually really delved into self-development, I realized, I came over the concept that your thoughts create your emotions create behavior creates your reality. And what happened to me was I got really scared. That freaked me out because at that time in my life, I was having quite a few negative thoughts. I also found out that we have around 60,000 thoughts a day. And the aim is for the majority of them to be positive, obviously. But it really scared me because I thought, well, where am I going to go with all these negative thoughts? And I'm a really positive person. I think I was born positive. I take after my grandmother. I always find, the cup is always half full with me. But at that time in my life, I just had so many punches and I was just tired, absolutely exhausted. Mentally and physically, I was exhausted. But I came across this concept of your thoughts create your reality. So if I wanted to change my life, I needed to change my thoughts. Well, what do I do with all these negative thoughts? Now, so it's what scared me was literally, what do I do with all these negative thoughts? And then as I went along, as I really focused on loving myself, I learned what to do with these thoughts. They didn't scare me anymore. My thoughts didn't scare me. The positive ones, I took them and I made them grow. And the negative ones didn't scare me. It's not that they didn't show up anymore. Whoever tells you that you're not going to get negative thoughts, if you're on the path of self-development, whoever tells you that you're never going to get a negative thought again, it's not true. You are going to get negative thoughts, but the difference is you can control them. You know what to do with them. And what do you do with them? We're going to discuss it in this video. So this is what we're going to discuss. First of all, we're going to discuss what we're going to do with the negative thoughts. And then secondly, we're going to discuss the 3 kinds of thoughts that they don't serve you at all. So let's begin. So let's say you get a negative thought. First of all, you need to identify what kind of negative thought is it. And the 3 thoughts are, is it a fear thought? Is it a worry thought? Or is it a sad thought? Now, as soon as you've identified which one it is, that you just identify it. The second thing is, don't engage in it. Don't engage. This is what I learned early on. Don't engage in your thoughts. So let's say you have a worry thought or a fear thought. It's just a thought. It comes in. But what creates the emotion is that you actually engage in it. You believe it, and then you make it into this movie and you can stay there. I could stay there for hours and hours just thinking. This one thought became a long movie that never came true anyway. Just a waste of my time and a waste of my life, really. So number 1, identify what kind of thought is it. Is it a fear thought? Is it a worry thought? Or is it a sad thought? Number 2 is to not engage in it. Okay. So now you're probably thinking, okay, Love Yourself Guru, how do I not engage in it? So this is how you don't engage in it. Okay. So I want to show you something. So this is a book, right? This is my notebook. Can you see my notebook? Can you see it? Okay. I want you to observe it. I want you to observe my notebook. Just take a few seconds to observe it, okay? Are you observing it? Brilliant, okay. So, what did you learn? Okay, you learned that you are the observer of the notebook. So now you are, before you were, now you are the observer of the notebook. You're not the notebook, are you? No. It's the same thing with your negative thoughts. You are not your negative thoughts. You are the observer of your negative thoughts. Your negative thoughts, they do not define you. They don't define you in any way. They don't define you, and they're not your reality. They only become your reality if you believe them and if you let them. So don't let them. They don't, you just observe them. Just like you're observing this book and then it went, same thing. Negative thought comes in, you observe it, you don't engage in it, you don't make it into a long movie, and you let it go. That's it, because it's nothing to do with your life. Is this book anything to do with your life? No. Same thing with a negative thought. Positive thoughts are the opposite. Positive thoughts, they work for you. They don't work against you. Negative thoughts, they work against you. Positive thoughts, they work for you, and you can engage in them, and you can make beautiful stories out of them, and you can really use your imagination. Your imagination is actually for positive thoughts. It's not for negative thoughts. Your imagination, God gave you imagination for positive thoughts and to create an amazing reality. It wasn't given for negative thoughts, because if you use your imagination with negative thoughts, you just make yourself ill. So after you observe them, yes, and you let them go, you follow them up with 2 positive affirmations, so 2 of the opposite thought. So let's say, for instance, you say to yourself, let's say a thought comes in that I'm not enough. Okay, I'm not enough. So number 1, you've identified I'm not enough. It's probably a worry thought. It could be a worry thought and it could be a fear thought. So let's call it a worry thought. I'm not enough. So you've identified what kind of thought it is. Now you don't engage in it. So you're not going to make it into a movie. I'm not enough. And what if I go to that party and they don't think I'm enough and they don't like me? You don't make it into a movie. No. I'm not enough. Okay, you've not engaged in it. Now you're going to observe it. You've just seen it. It doesn't define you. That's not you. I'm not enough. That's not you. It's a book. I'm not enough. And you let it go. And then you follow it up with 2 positive affirmations. So I'm not enough. I'm enough. I love myself. I'm brilliant. I'm going to do really well. I'm smashing it. Okay? So that's what you do. Now, let's discuss the 3 kinds of thoughts I think, well, they don't serve you. Not I think. It's like a known fact. They don't serve you at all. So let's get on to fear thoughts. Now, the nature of fear thoughts is that most of the time they are in the future. Okay, it's your mind throwing a thought about something that could happen in the future. Now, if you think about it, the past is over, the future does not come. We only have the present moment. We're in the present moment. Even tomorrow, when you're there, when you're in tomorrow, yes, it's the present moment. It's not the future anymore. So you're always living in the present moment. So if your mind throws a fear thought at you about the future, it's an illusion. Any fears about the future are an illusion. They're not true at all, because you only live in the present moment. And that's what the mind tries to do. It will try to scare you with the future, and it will try to let you grieve the past. Or it will never, or it will let you be dissatisfied with your present moment. Okay, so fear thoughts are normally illusions of the future. So how do you deal with that? So what you do is you ask yourself, is what I'm fearing happening now? And the answer you'll always get is no. I'm fearing a fear thought about the future, an illusion about the future, So what you say then is, okay, it's an illusion. Why should I engage in illusion? Now, if you engage in a negative thought, you're using something, when you engage in thoughts, you use something called your imagination. And when you engage in thoughts and you use your imagination, you create like a movie. Now, your imagination wasn't made for negative thoughts. It wasn't made for fear thoughts. It wasn't made for worry thoughts, and it wasn't made for sad thoughts. God is great. He didn't give us our imagination for those 3 types of thoughts. What you're doing, that's misusing your imagination. Your imagination was made for positive thoughts and to make movies out of positive thoughts and create your dreams. So when you use your imagination with fear thoughts or worry thoughts or sad thoughts, the only thing you do is you make yourself ill. And fear thoughts, they have the ability, they are able to literally, I remember when I used to get fear thoughts, I found it very difficult to even, go about my day-to-day things. They would literally, I would stay at home. I wouldn't socialize, to be honest. They really isolate you. That's what they do. They isolate you. And the reason they're isolating you, it's just an illusion. So it's a waste of your time and a waste of your life, because they're just an illusion. So you ask yourself, is what I'm fearing, is it happening now? Or is it in the future? 100% of the time with fear thoughts, you'll find that it's in the future, because even if something is happening now, that's a situation. You're facing it, you're doing it. It's not a fear thought anymore. It's not, it doesn't classify as a fear thought, because what you're going through it now. So you identify it's in the future, that means it's an illusion. It's an illusion. And then you don't engage in it. You observe it, you don't engage in it, you don't make it into a movie, and then you observe it like you observe this book. It doesn't define you, and it doesn't define your present reality. It's got nothing to do with you. It's just a thought that your mind threw at you. And then you follow it up with two of the opposite thoughts. So either two really nice situations that you want, please God, to create, or two of the exact opposite thoughts. So let's say you fear, God forbid, that one of your member of your family will get ill. You replace it with, please God, all my family are healthy, thank God a billion times. Everything's okay, all is well in my world. And you start engaging in positive thoughts, and you start using your imagination with those positive thoughts. You start creating movies with those positive thoughts. Okay, so let's go on to now worry thoughts. Now, worry thoughts are different to fear thoughts in that they are in the future, also an illusion. Your mind, an illusion. You're worried about something in the future, which is an illusion. We only live in the present moment. Or you're worried about something that is happening now. Okay, you're worried about something that's happening now. Not fear. You're worried about something like we said before with the fear thoughts. Fear, once something happens, you're not scared anymore. That's it. It's already happened. You're dealing with it. But worry thoughts, it could be an illusion of the future, or it could be something that you're worried about now. So let me give you an example. You could be worried about finances in the future. Well, maybe I won't make it, or maybe I won't have enough in the future. That's an illusion, because that's in the future. Or you could worry about, you could be saying that financially I've not got enough now, or I'm not doing enough now. Now, you're worried about that now. So what do you do? Now, if you identify that you have a worry thought, and ask yourself, is it happening now, or is it happening in the future? If it's happening in the future, don't engage in it. You won't engage in it. I won't engage in it. I observe it, and I let it go. And then I replace it with two of the opposite thought. Now, if what I'm worried about is happening now, I ask myself two questions. Is it solvable, or is it unsolvable? If what I'm worried about is solvable, then I sit down and I write down plans of actions. What actions can I take to solve this worry? So for instance, let's say if you're worried about your finances, well, what actions can I take to actually improve my finances? There are always actions you can take. Always. And if, let's say, you have got a problem that's not solvable, it's not in your hands, then my experience in life is, if you identify that you have a problem, yes, if it's in the future, it's an illusion, so it's not a problem. If you're worried about something that's happening now, if it's solvable, find ways to solve it. If it's unsolvable, that means that God doesn't want you to put your hands in it. Please God, He's going to solve it. It will solve itself. Okay? So that's what I found with worrying thoughts. Either they're an illusion, or they're solvable and I can take action. Or if they're not solvable, God will sort it out for me. It will sort itself out. So there's nothing really to worry about there at all. Now, the third kind of thoughts are sad thoughts. Now, sad thoughts are different to worry thoughts and fear thoughts is because they're not in the future. They're normally about the past. You're sad about the past, things that have happened in the past, or you're sad about your present reality. You're dissatisfied with your present reality. But the majority of the time, sadness is the past. But also you could get you're dissatisfied with your present moment. So how do you deal with that if your mind throws at you a sad thought? Because like I told you, your mind doesn't want you to take control of it, because once you take control of it, you take control of your life. So it will throw at you. It will throw sad thoughts, fear thoughts, worry thoughts. It doesn't matter to your mind as long as you are not improving, as long as you are not enjoying yourself, really, and improving. So as long as you know that, yes, then you'll know how to live your life. So sad thoughts is basically your mind will throw thoughts at you at the past. It will remind you of an event in the past, and then what you'll do is you will indulge in that thought. You'll engage in that thought. Now, the difference between a fear thought and a worry thought and a sad thought is that with a fear thought and a worry thought, if your mind throws it at you, a fear or worry thought at you, you can use your imagination, yes, and create movies, okay? With a sad thought, you don't use your imagination. You don't create the movies because you've already lived those bad experiences. You've already lived those bad experiences, haven't you? It's replaying something that you've already gone through in the past. Fear, worry, you can make a movie. Sad, you're going somewhere that you've already experienced. Now, this is how I see life. Sometimes we experience things that are quite challenging, very, very challenging, but we don't have to experience them more than once. Yes, there is a reason why we experience them. There was a lesson that we had to learn. It took us somewhere, but we don't have to experience it over and over and over again. The only way that you experience it over and over again is because you keep on going back to it. And when you think of it, you just relive that whole time in your life. And it just doesn't serve you, because then all that sadness, you bring it into the present, which then will go into the future. It doesn't serve you. So that's the thing with sad thoughts that go into the past. So, okay, so I've given you all that information. So how do you stop going into the past? If your mind really insists on taking you to the past, what do? Well, you do two things. You start to try to recall good times that you had in the past. Really good times that you had in the past. And if you didn't have any good times, you do this. If your mind takes you to a challenging situation, instead of feeling sorry for yourself, you actually start to try to find how you were strong in that situation, what blessings there were in that situation, what blessings came out of that situation. And I promise you, every challenging situation I've had, when I've analyzed it, with every one challenging situation, and I mean sad situations. When you read my life story, the link is in below, quite challenging situations. But with every challenging situation, there's been at least 10 blessings. There's been at least 10 reasons why. So you actually, number one is you try to find the happy things in the past. And if you can't do that, look at the blessings in your challenging situations. So that's when your mind takes you to the past, okay? Now, if your mind is saying to you, throws you a thought and about the present moment, that you're dissatisfied with your present moment, I need you to ask yourself, first of all, why am I dissatisfied? And then you write down the reason why. And then second is what I'm dissatisfied with fixable? Can I fix this? And what you'll find is 99% of the time you can fix it. you can find ways to get you out of the state of dissatisfaction and into the state of satisfaction. As simple as going for a walk, doing exercise, reading a book, going out with your friends, praying. There are so many ways that you can get yourself out of the state of being dissatisfied. Now, let's say the 1% where you can't find any way to actually get you out of this state of dissatisfaction with your present moment. What you do is you practice being in a state of gratitude. So try to live in a state of gratitude. Thank God for my body. Thank God that I'm listening to the Love Yourself Guru. Thank God for my family. Thank God I've got a roof over my head. Thank God my stomach's digesting. Thank God my food. Thank God for the sun. Thank God for my dog. There's so many things that you can thank God for. The list is endless. And once you start living in a state of gratitude, your mind, even if it does throw sad thoughts of dissatisfaction of the present moment, you just don't believe it. And when you don't believe in something, you don't engage in it at all. You just refuse to go there. So let's do a recap. You have fear thoughts, which are illusions about the future. You have worry thoughts, which are either about the illusion of the future or about the present moment. And you have sad thoughts, which are worries about the past or dissatisfaction with the future, with the present moment. With future thoughts, illusion of the future, you don't make a movie out of it because it's just an illusion. You don't engage in it. You observe it, and then you follow it up with the opposite. With worry thoughts, again, if it's an illusion of the future, you do the same. If not, you ask yourself, is what I'm worried about solvable? If it's solvable, you do actions, you write down actions to actually solve the problem. If it's not solvable, that means it's just, please God willing, it's going to solve itself. With your sad thoughts, if the sad thoughts about the past, don't engage in it. Try to find things in the past that happy occasions in the past. It's very good for you to try to find happy occasions in the past. And then find the blessings of the challenges that you had in the past. And if you're dissatisfied with your present moment, find ways to be satisfied, take action with the present moment, or both live in a state of gratitude. So we finished the video. I love you loads. Have a brilliant, beautiful, amazing day. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. The link for my book, my life story, is down in the comments below, and also the link for my website. If anybody wants a free introductory life coaching session, it's also in the link below. Please don't forget to subscribe and click the like button. I love you loads. God bless you all.